watching another episode of Every Day is a New Day, and I'm excited, as always, to talk to today's guest. Today, we're talking with Jeoffrey Hutcherson, and let me just name off a few of the things that he does. He's an artist of life coach, he's a massage therapist, a sound healer, infinite possibilities trainer. For all those who are not familiar with infinite possibilities, check it out. It's good stuff. And he is a doll model. So he had a doll that looks just like him. How cool is that? So with that said, hello and welcome, Jeoffrey.
Hello, everyone out there in the interwebs. How's it going, everybody? Going to be a good time today.
That's right. It's going to be a good time.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, you know what? My first question, Jeoffrey, is what does every day is a new day mean to you?
Every day is a new day. That's a totally wonderful concept. That's taking every moment to start fresh, to start new. You know, people think that they have to have this new year to begin again. No, you can begin again in the next breath. You can begin again in every moment. So every day is a new day. Absolutely right. I mean, we can have fun in this moment and always choose something better, something more at peace, and really have more fun with that. I mean, so that's an opportunity to feel good all day, every day.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do. I named off some of your titles, but share with us a little bit more so we can get a feel for the kind of work you're doing in the world these days.
Well, the kind of work that I'm doing, if you want to even call it work, it's not really work. It's just Jeff playing. You know, I am happy first, and then I do the things that I enjoy. Getting into sound healing was really having fun, letting music touch my soul or express in my body in a different way. You know, it's kind of like when you listen to music back when we were growing up in high school and some of our favorite music during that time. How come when you listen to music from that time, it takes you instantly back to that feeling and seeing how Bobby McFerrin said this so brilliantly, that music is the one thing that unites all of us, because no matter where we are on the planet, everyone understands a drum beat. Everyone understands a rhythm. Everyone can unite and communicate that way. So when I started to get into sound healing and taking people on like guided meditations, it was really using the sounds as a tool to get them to relax, to get them to open up, because if you've never been didgeridooed before, oh my God, it's just, it's just a really cool experience to feel that vibration move through you and to just open yourself up to receive the peace that you've been asking for, to receive the answers that you've been putting off because you kept focusing on the fact that you were stuck and you kept saying that you were stuck. But then if you're listening to a crystal bowl and you're not thinking about being stuck, but you're in a place to receive your answer, and then suddenly you get your answer, bingo. You know, that's where all of these, tools came from. Being a massage therapist came from my piece of, trying to figure out how to make my life work. And I had such an anger that was inside of me at the time. I was a martial artist, and I started using that as a tool to focus my anger. And I got really fantastic at hurting people with my hands, but there was something more that I could do with them. I felt it on the inside. And my mentor, again, shared with me how he was actually healing me from all of these punches and kicks that I was doing. And I was going, how are you doing that? What are you doing? And well, he just said, there's a healing side to the martial arts. Wait, what? Really?
Wow.
There's a healing side to the martial arts? Like, yeah, it's just not taught here in the West. And we are getting more into showing people what that is. And I'm like, oh, okay. Can you show me? And it started from there. And with massage therapy, then it became, when I got on stage to perform, there was, okay, see, that's where it's going to go there, isn't it? Okay.
It's okay. Bring it out.
Oh, okay. It's a story I love to tell, which will put all of this into perspective for you. Okay. So, as I said, one of the things that I was doing, I was a martial artist trying to figure out how to make my life work. And I was going about life looking at different philosophies, religions, and things like that, and just looking for my answers. Didn't have my answers. And so lo and behold, one of my friends and teachers was doing a play shop here in Wisconsin, and he's from Arizona, and wonderfully, wonderfully phenomenal man. His name is Keith Varnum. And in the workshop, he said, okay, now it's time for you to talk to Source. It's time for you to, Source has been wanting to communicate to you, and you're just going to play with the direct line. So this is where we're going to humor the facilitator. I'm like, really? No, okay. Yeah, we're just going to talk to Source, right? You know, because again, this is just the construct that we're playing in, just go ahead and look for the answers. I was willing. So that in itself, if you're willing, you're going to get your answers.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So I was willing. A little belligerent, but I was willing. And so he said, you're just going to take the phone and put it up to your ear and talk to Source. Okay, so I did the whole pantomime thing. I put it up to my ear, and boom. Okay, my world went white. It was kind of trippy, you know, in that moment in time. And even though it was a blink, it felt like a really, really, really long time. So within that space of time, I saw my high school stage, and there was a curtain on it, and it looked like just a curtain from the Muppet Show. I'm not kidding. It really did. It looked like the curtain from the Muppet Show.
Okay.
And so it's my high school stage, and there's a spotlight there, and I'm going, hello? And I hear a voice, and the voice says, hi there. I said, who's out there? And the voice said, you know who's out here. I said, step on stage. Okay, I step on stage, and I get into the spotlight, looking. Who's out there? You know who's out there. Oh, really? At that point, I got really pissed off. Okay, and I just went off on the voice. I'm like, oh, so you're out there, and I'm up here. How come you were not there for me when my father died? How come you were not there when those guys beat me up? How come you were not there when my life was falling apart? How come you were just out there when my world was shattering? Where were you when all of these bad things were happening to you? I am so sick of this. I want to figure out how to make my life work. I'm in so much pain right now. I really want to just check out here. I'm very close to checking out. Tell me how to make my life work. You know, because when I was on this stage, when I'm on this stage performing for people, I help them forget their problems. I make them laugh. I make them cry. I am so comfortable on this stage, but how come when I stepped off this stage, I could never find you? How come on this stage, I could only be me? And I was trying to be someone else. How come it hurt too much to be the person that I was? On the stage was the only place that I could find comfort, was the only place that I could find peace. And I just went off on this. I went off. I just gave it everything I had. And then I finally said, tell me how to make my life work. The voice said, are you finished? I screamed, tell me! And it said, Jeoffrey, okay. You said I was never there. You said, my boy, I never left your side. Because you were going through so many things, because you were going through such pain, I was trying to communicate to you through everything that you were interested in, through martial arts, through theater, through the shows that you were watching, everything you looked at, my love, I was trying to communicate to you. You just didn't hear me. So now here, when you were in theater, you remember when you were in theater? Yeah? Okay. So what was the first piece that you had to learn for your theater class? Because remember, my love, you said on that stage was the only place you felt comfortable. On that stage was the only place that you felt like you could be you. On that stage was the place that you could feel at peace. You could feel love for yourself. But do you remember the first piece you had to learn for your theater class? I'm like, yeah, it was a William Shakespeare piece. Go ahead, recite it for me. Okay, William Shakespeare, the first piece I had to learn, it was like, okay, yeah. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and oh my God.
Wow.
In that moment, I mean, at that point, I was just, I was dumbfounded. I was humbled. I was laughing. I threw up my middle finger to Source and going, yeah, very funny, very funny. You really need to understand through all of the rules that I had made up for myself and for my life and for my given personality, that message was delivered to me, to my perfection. If on that stage was the only place that I felt comfortable, if on that stage was the only place that I would allow myself to feel joy and forget all of the things that I defined painful in my life, well, guess what? All the world's a stage. It didn't have to be on an actual physical stage. It was delivering that message of personal power to me right there in that moment because of the rules that I had made up. Please get that. Because of the rules and the limitations I made up, something had to be created to filter through all of that to get through the rules that I created. Now, once I destroyed those rules, guess what? Got through easier, gets through faster. And that is the piece that's the driving force within my life now, because I see myself as an artist of life. I see myself as expressing myself however I wish to be. You know, I hear my name is Jeoffrey.
Oh,
that's how I hear my name.
Nice.
That's who I am.
I like it.
You know, and just from that simple piece right there changed so many things in my life. And during that little, talking to source meditation, I was downloaded the 3 ideas for books. I have to actually start writing on the 3rd one now because I've gotten my signals saying that, okay, yep, it's getting easier to come out now. So it's time to start writing. But it was during that time that I was, again, laughing on stage, throwing my fingers up to source and having just a blast. And then I really felt my life change. I mean, when you give yourself that breath, that moment to just say, you know what, I don't have to believe everything that I think, your life alters. You are free and you can just move on. So that's the driving force in my life. And so I'm happy first, and then I do life coaching. I'm happy first, and then I'm a massage therapist. I'm happy first, and then I do sound healing. I'm happy first, and then I do anything that I want. That's the driving force for me.
Wow.
I know, right?
So thank you for sharing that. That was so incredibly powerful. I think on the one hand, even just for me to hear, I think just to be expressed in the universe, and I have no doubt it's going to speak to whoever happens to see this video. So thank you for sharing that. I won't go into mine, but I got chills when you started sharing the story about just all of that. We started sharing that. My dad also passed away at a younger age, and it was a pivotal moment as well. And same for my siblings. So thank you for sharing that. Very powerful stuff. You could use the word download. For anyone who's maybe new to hearing that term in a different way, it doesn't necessarily just mean downloading something from your computer or onto your cell phone. Download information, ideas, inspiration, because it's all connected from source, higher self. And I just want to share that alternative perspective for anyone who might be thinking, what does he mean download?
Yeah, because when I'm talking about download, that's just one way of giving you a frame of reference, because if you want to look at your body and your mind this is a working computer. And so you can download information. Another way to say it is that you are tuning into inspiration, because when I say I'm happy and then, I get into my happy place no matter what it takes. I think the thoughts that I want to think that make me happy, that get me into a place of being comfortable and loving myself no matter what. And then from that place, I ask my questions of, what does my soul most want to experience next? Ooh. And then I'm receptive to those answers. It's like really getting into that. You are a wonderful human being and we have a crazy method of operation, but we make up the whole method, so to download, to tune into, to check in with yourself, to just take a breath and go, gonna relax and then step forward. That's what I'm talking about, so download, receiving, it's such a wonderful game that we play. And, like I was telling you in our last interview, that one of the things that we human beings do is that we make stuff up and then we believe it. And so if that's the case, if that's the most simplistic, powerful piece that you can apply to your whole life, you can go, well, look at how hard I made my life by believing the things and saying the things that I was saying. Okay, well, since I was so powerful and so correct in making my life hell, well, why don't I just go to the other side and make my life wonderful? Because nobody had to justify and approve of it other than me on my negative side. Same thing goes for the other side then. I could totally choose and create the life that I want because I said so. And it's that inspiration that then tells us that, we can have this conversation, over the internet, that we can be artists, that we can paint, that we can dance, that we can do whatever it is that's the expression of life that wants to come out of us, because again, it's tuning into that receptivity, to that inner inspiration.
What do you say to someone who says, I'm not just making it up. I'm not just thinking thoughts that aren't true. I saw it happen. It's reality. What do you say to someone who comes back with that answer?
Okay, that's fine. You've had the thought. You kept thinking that thought because again, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And so, yes, it did happen. And it was true and valid for you. You created that experience for yourself. But just because it was true for somebody else, just because it was true for you then, doesn't mean that it has to be true for you always. It did happen. There's a lot of stuff that happened in my life that I could say that, for as far as all of my positive thinking, I could think back to all of the horrific things that I would imagine that happened in my life and go, well, what made that stuff happen? Well, I can easily justify that because since I was thinking in a victim mentality, I kept creating instances where I was a victim.
Yeah.
Boom. Gotcha. Yeah. You're not proving me wrong. You're actually proving my point and proving how right I am when I say you're the most powerful thing in this universe. It's your world that you're creating. Well, yes, that bad thing happened to you, but we can also reframe how you look at that negative situation and see how powerful you truly were. Because, there was a person I was interacting with. It was oil and water. Just totally not mixing. And how I reframed my interaction with them because they were treating me so poorly, because I was still in my victim mode. I was always finding someone to victimize me. And then someone said to me, Jeff, why don't you just forgive them? I can't forgive them. Every time I think about it, it pisses me off. And they went, Jeff, I'm not asking you to forgive them for them. I'm asking you to forgive them so that you'll stop causing yourself pain. Wait a minute. Giving them pain. Wait a second. So if I was in this interaction with this person and they were treating me badly, what's the exact opposite of that emotion that I wanted to pick? Oh, okay. So I was feeling powerlessness. I wanted to be empowered. Oh, they were teaching me to choose to be empowered. Thank you for giving me this experience. I got the real lesson.
I think the difference is a lot of people it's not conscious creation. They're just creating by default. Just creating and not realizing that I'm creating every moment of my life, what I attract, what comes next. And that's the importance of the awareness. And partly why I wanted to do these videos as well is to speak with people like you who have that awareness and information and insight to be able to share. You can go from this experience and learn there's another way and realize, oh my goodness, now I see how I attracted that experience into my life, how I created what came next, how I created the next thing and the next thing and next thing. I could have easily said, I don't have a TV station, so I can't interview people and I can't speak to people.
Right.
But I said, no, I'm in charge of my life. What do I want to create for myself? I can do that. How can I make that happen? I don't have a studio somewhere. I don't have like a whole cameraman and a sound person. There's no one over here with a mic and a light.
Right.
I'm in my dining room.
Yeah.
I'm in my dining room. And no matter how much I try to center this photo, it doesn't get centered.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't need to be. Let it be off kilter. That's totally fine.
Yeah. So, I had to say, okay, so I'm aware that those things, sure, in this present moment, I'm not seeing it. But I still want to do that. How can I do that? How can I want to have fun with this. How can I do that? And how can I have fun with it? Oh, I can use my computer. Oh, I can, I do kind of like technology and I like exploring with things. Let me see what computer programs exist and how can I sort of create a video and play with it. And who do I know? wow, lo and behold, I know a bazillion people
Yeah.
who like you know, want to share information with other people. And, you know, the awareness allows us to be able to look back and actually see how that past served us. When you reframed the experience and said, oh, that, you know, having that conversation or whatever the experience was with that person who was oil, your water, oil and water, how does that actually serve me? Oh, it taught me blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's to me, it all serves a purpose, and all it takes is that flipping the switch in the head of choosing to see how it could serve you and how it can help us, you know, move forward. So
Yeah, and that's absolutely on point, because when we're talking like this, one of the things I like to share with people too is, like, you ask a better quality question, you get a better quality answer.
yeah.
You know, the same thing for as far as, again, how can I do this? And what's really fun too, because you're bringing up a difference that I like to call, or a construct that I like to call, asking a question and then questioning. So how can I do this? Oh, how can I do this? What the tools that I have available to me right now? What's the best way that I can do this and get this done? That's asking a question and saying you're open to the answer. You're receptive to the answer because it feels exciting. It feels, how can I do this? I don't have to figure everything out, but where's the best place for me to start? And then you're inspired that way. Whereas questioning, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this done. This just seems so overwhelming. I don't know what to do first. I can't, this is too much, too fast. I'm not Oprah. I'm really not. I can't do this. I don't know if I can, that's the beating yourself up. That's defeating the purpose. That's questioning and taking yourself right out of the game. Whereas understanding the feeling between the two, asking a question is exciting. Questioning is where you're feeling your doubt.
It really forces us to go back to the question, what do I really want? Because if what you really want actually can be stopped by, oh, I can't do this, blah, 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 then maybe you don't really want that. So then you can also just ask, what do I really want? Do I really want that? How does this place serve me right now? If it doesn't, what's that other question I can ask? What's a more powerful question I can ask?
So as we're going along this path of, like, you really understanding and asking the questions that we are putting forth within our lives, then it becomes the point of, again, what does my soul most want to experience next? And then having that center of really understanding how we make this up. It's our wonderful human dynamic. And I'm going to give you something very simplistic here. People live their lives by their judgment. And people will say sometimes judgment is a bad thing, and it's not. Jeff, how can I live a life judgment-free? Well, it's very simple, and I'll give it to you right here. It's 3 steps. The first step is to just look at everything and see everything as it is. Just see with the eyes of a child, okay? Just see things happening and don't make up any story about what's going on there. That's number 2. Don't make up a story about what you're observing. Oh, that person just won such and such in the lottery. They must be a great person, blah, blah, blah. No, that's just something that happened. That's there. Now, if you can do those 2 things, see things as they are, don't create a story in what you're seeing. Number 3 is a walk in the park, because now there's no judgment in what you're observing. And if you have no judgment, guess what? You're not giving it a charge to either take you off your game or to put you, even more so on your game. You are in control of how you feel and how you move about life. And you're totally in that space of receptivity. Everything's calm, everything's cool, and things can be chaotic, but you're still the peace within the storm.
I've come to a belief that I hold is that every declarative statement is a belief of some sort. So just as you were saying, people say that judgment is bad. That's a belief. People say that, winning the lottery is, people could say winning the lottery is, oh, that's bad. You don't want that because bad things are to come. Or that person, now that they won the lottery, oh, well, they didn't give me any money. Oh, they're so selfish and greedy, and they're stuck in their own world. So many stories we can make about every single thing, even, see it as it is. Some people, I think they don't even know that they automatically attach a story to it. They don't realize that seeing something and what they instantly believe about it, there's an attachment there too.
Yeah, right. And see, the way that we go about our lives and telling our story or even having that belief, because again, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking because, if someone tells you that I am a terrible hugger, okay, and you haven't had a hug from me to know the difference, then depending on how much you let that person influence you, then that will become a truth for you until you get into my arms and then you know the difference. Then you have your direct experience. Then you will know that that other person was full of shit. So that is the point of having your own direct knowing. No one can take that away from you. A belief you'll change in a heartbeat because you have no direct reference. And so with what life you've created and what someone says at that moment when you hear it and you do that, well, that makes sense. And then you'll change your belief like that. But if you have a direct knowing, it's just going to be like, no, I don't know. You really have no idea. Did you get a hug from Jeff? Did you get a hug? No, then don't even, you have no reference. But I've gotten a hug, so I know, so that's not true for me. So, it's really taking that time and understanding that, yeah, you are creating your life every step of the way, and it's totally up to you. And following that yes, following that bliss, man, that's life's sweetest kiss right there. Really, I'm not trying to get all susical on you here, but it was just, it really is when you feel how scrumptious life can be in one moment of just enjoying who you are.
Yeah.
I had let me share this with you. I had a moment last night with a friend I hadn't seen in a while, and he had brought his daughter out to see me. He had just brought her back from gymnastics and whatever. So we were meeting at this little restaurant and just hanging out for a little bit. And so it just so happens that I was wearing this particular sweater on the day that his daughter was born 9 years ago.
I saw that. Yes.
Yes, you saw that.
Yeah.
So it was that moment right there that, we're sitting there talking and I'm going and I'm looking at her and he shows me the baby picture and I'm like, dude, like, we got to do this. I'm wearing the same sweater. I'm like, come here. And she was so willing. I mean, she was just so willing to do that with me. And, again, you saw the picture and it was just like that right there was just kind of like a full circle type of moment of going, wow. I was reminded of how much I loved my friend.
Oh.
I was reminded of how much I appreciated and loved, my goddaughter, or however they define or say Uncle Jeff, or whatever they call me, or whatever she calls me. I'm totally cool with that. And it was the affirmation of life of like, this is why I came here. It's like I forgot how much I loved you, and I really appreciate how much I love to love you. It was that type of feeling and moment that was just so beautiful. So I'm glad you saw that picture, that you can get that too, because this is what life can be about. And when we are creating art, that's the one thing we really don't judge too harshly, because it's someone else's expression. And we go, well, that's just their expression, and it's not exactly what I would do. But hey, they're free to express as they are. That is the beauty of who we are right here. And if we can do that in music, if we can do that in actually the visual medium of art, then how come we don't do it everywhere else? Because everywhere we look is a visual expression of artistic life.
Yeah. Anything we hear from anybody else is always being filtered through that person's own life experiences. And so when they say take everything with a grain of salt, that's kind of like the salt,
Yeah.
It can be so easy to just kind of automatically accept what someone else, puts on us. And
yeah. Well, see, another thing that I developed too, because as I was listening to so many different teachers, one of the ways that I figured out how to get this right for myself is I would ask myself an empowering question of, okay, they just gave me some spiritual jargon. How do I know that to be true? How do I know that to be true? That is instantaneously opening my mind up and my life up to me to see how what they've just said to me is true in my experience. So I instantly can take it from a belief to an actual knowing, because my life has shown me where it is true for me. So that's a question that you can ask yourself when when validating anything that you are hearing from somebody else. How do I know that to be true? And if you don't have a direct reference from that, or if you just give yourself a moment to see how that's true, let your life show you, then if you don't have that reference, well, give yourself a day, and you will have a direct experience on that teaching if you're curious about knowing how true that can be for you. Now, again, true only means somebody held a thought long enough in their mind and they created the direct experience of the thought that they were thinking. Again, we're making this up as we go along, that method of operation that we are playing with here, because if I'm calling myself Jeoffrey, guess what? I don't believe in any fear-based teachings. Okay, I have a direct knowing and experience of that there is nothing but love here for us. I know that when I decide to turn the page and leave this physical body, that I'm not going to go someplace and be judged by something and punished in any way, shape, or form. It's not going to happen. It's not true for any of us. And so you see how people are, if you put that knowing and that direct experience of, okay, look, if there's nothing but here for us, he just said there's nothing but love here for us. How do I know that to be true? If you're ready to feel that, then you're going to get that experience. Then you're going to know it. And then you're going to stop behaving in certain ways that make you think that you have to justify, that you have to validate your life, that you have to go through hoops to get to some certain place, to some, forever far off land to feel good over there. And you start to feel good right here. When I really stopped going through hell, my judgment day was when I stopped judging myself so harshly over anything that I did. I just said, everything that I did it. So what? Moving on. Really? Moving on. Why should I kick myself in the butt over something that I didn't know better at the time when I was behaving, but now I know better, and so now we're done. I'm not going to continue to punish myself over something that I've already learned the lesson of.
Yeah.
You see our society is doing that all the time, but, in the end, or in the continuum, I don't have to prove someone else wrong for me to be right. I don't have to, again, live my life, and I will not live my life from a place of that I'm going to be in judgment of some outside deity at some point in my existence. That's not going to happen. I know that's not going to happen. So that's just me. And that opens my life. That opens my consciousness, that opens everything up to me for as far as the realm of possibility. Because again, I lived my life from impossible, and without changing any of the spelling and that to a more positive light, instead of living from impossible, I went to I'm possible.
I feel going back to what you were talking about earlier when you shared your story about being in martial arts, and then you did the visualization guided meditation, and Source came through and said, I tried to get you that message through different avenues. I think that's a lot of it too, is that love that is there for us continues to try and show its presence in our life. And it comes through all these different experiences and avenues. And sometimes those experiences or avenues are lessons or messages that maybe we need to, ponder a little more. And I can think of messages in my life that I had gotten time and time again. And it's like I wasn't allowing them in, because we have that free will. We have that free will to kind of block ourselves off to it, just as much as we have the free will to finally say, okay, let me allow that in and see what's there. And, one of the messages I had been getting for like the last 1 to 2 years was, Kim, have more fun. Kim, have more fun. And I was like, yeah, I know. And
I'll have more fun later. I'm still gonna work hard.
I'm like, yeah, I got to do this work. And I would do the justifying. And I even say this with caution, but I would even justify, well, yeah, but this work that I'm doing is fun, or this thing that I'm doing is fun. And it's just like even you were saying, yes, because I do have work that is fun for me, but I needed to, for me personally, I needed to take it even beyond that, Well, okay, let's even stop with the fun work. Let's just have fun.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's just amazing how I've already started to see, oh, that's what you were trying to show me. Just have fun.
Yep.
It's not wasting time. It's not
right.
It's not frivolous. It's not it serves, fun serves a purpose. Like it actually, so for that reason, my word for the year is joy, because joy reminds me to connect with that energy that allows me to also remain open to see those, see the love coming through all the different experiences and messages that continue to make their way to me. So
yeah, I totally dig that, because when you said joy, I have an acronym for that. Joy is your journey of your omnipresent yes. And that is a really fun, cool way to, again, for me to, because again, I make these rules up and I change them when I want. I'm making up more rules for me to have fun all the damn time. All the damn time, because there's so much. It's not just this phone interview. It's not just how I might feel 10 minutes after this interview. Magic is found, joy is found in every moment.
And let me say, for anyone who right now is thinking, like, why would you do that right now? There's so many other important things going on in the world. Because why not? Your life is now.
Yeah.
Not. Your life is now. Like, we have every reason available to make our life, allow our life to be joyful, for it to be fulfilling. I mean, I think if we want to choose to use all those other things going on to be an excuse for not, that is exactly why it's an excuse or a reason to have fun and be joyful. Because, I mean, at the end of my life, I'm the only one who's going to be looking back at it saying, did I make that worth it? Did I have a good time? Was this worth my time and energy on earth? And I want to say, heck yeah. So
no, you're absolutely right, because again, having fun with this and making this very simplistic, life is either two things: something to feel good about or something to feel bad about. You do that simplistic dance, that changes your whole life right there. And that's what you're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's what's being expressed through us, through the simplicity of this conversation. Yeah. Who knows how many times we've changed the world in one sentence, and it's only been whatever time frame has gone past. But if someone can hear just that one sentence that changes their life, or they make that one decision in that one breath that goes, wow, this is cool. That is what we're talking about. There's magic in every moment. In every moment, that's it. Okay, I'm not even going to quantify it in any other direction. There's magic in every moment. And allow yourself to see it.
And when we choose that joy for ourselves and act on it, and however, whatever comes up for us, what that means for each person, that moment, that action is stepping into a person's power. What we choose for ourselves feels amazing for ourselves. And when we continue to carry that out into the world with who we meet, who we come across, even just who we stand next to, that reverberates out. So if on any level we're trying to make a difference on all those other things we don't like seeing, all it takes is starting right here. It really is. And then things continue to line up. And that is how, going back to creating our own life, that is how we create more of what we want to experience, attract, see. That's it. It starts right here.
Yeah. And I'm probably sure I've shared this with you before too, is that, since we're playing in the emotional world, and everything that we want is the emotions that we generate, so you've chosen joy, and I've done that too. Every morning I get up and I say, I'm choosing joy today. My joy shows up like this. And that's totally what happens in every moment, because I've picked my emotions. Then things happen in my life that reflect the emotions that I'm feeling. So you have no idea how the day I had prior to, we got a snapshot because you saw me in the picture of of me and Kat. And it was really amazing. And again, waking up today, my joy shows up like this. My joy shows up like this. All of my animals, all of these instances, and even right here, right now with you, the beauty of this moment of this is how my joy shows up, because it's being reflected of what I'm feeling and generating on the inside.
Stepping into your power, bringing it into the present moment.
Yeah, very much so. And I'll give you this little piece too, that because depending on where people are, where they are within this conversation, if they don't exactly know how to take their power back from a limiting belief. Well, let me just give you this little exercise that was done for me, and I just keep using it and sharing it with people as well. So again, we make stuff up and then we believe it. So let's go ahead and play and humor the facilitator, okay? So this is addressing any person, situation, life experience that you may have had and going through, and that you just might feel stuck in any area of your life. And I don't even need you to identify it because you already know what it is concerning what's important to you. So I'm going to say this, and you can just repeat this in your mind if you want, or you can repeat it after me. But it's this simple to tap into that place of regaining your power. So take a moment to just breathe in and just drop into your heart, if you will. Imagine yourself just taking an elevator down to your heart, out of your mind, and you're getting into your heart, and you're just breathing in and out, comfortably in and out. And from here, I gave my power to you. It's my energy. It's time to call my spirit back. With appreciation of the cosmic design, I now allow my power to come back home to me through all levels, through all dimensions, throughout all time and space. It's just that simple. And you can feel your power returning. You can feel how you've given your energy to certain belief systems, to the idea of who you think you should be, the idea of how much money you think you should have, or whatever your defining ideas of you. You can take your power back from all of that. And in this moment, you can feel totally empowered and know that it's where you place your energy, where you have your design, that you are the designer forevermore. This energy flows from yourself to yourself and through yourself. This is reclaiming your energy. You feel, I can tell, I'm looking at you right now, I can tell you feel from what I just did there. Just that little simple exercise.
Yeah.
Just that little simple breathing and way of thinking, you feel the shift.
It's important to do exercises, guided meditations like what Jeoffrey was just walking us through, to collect your energy back. Strengthen your own connection with your higher self and give that to yourself. You know, help yourself as well with that love.
Let's have some more fun here in breaking this down because, you know, since we've playing within the spiritual game, there's a certain language that they use too. Let's take it to a newer level too, because people talk about your higher self, and yes, we are physical, and yes, we are higher energy too. But it's that inner energy that really drives that really can drive us. And so let's really have fun playing with that too, because now when you've taken your power back, okay, and if you can just feel that level of comfortability, is that a word? Comfortability. We'll just go ahead. I make up words all the time too. So that level of comfort that's inside of you. Okay. And so now when you see people going through their life, living their I can't while you're breathing your I can, it's one thing to know that Kim, you need to know that I'm going to be here for you always and forever. Now, what I mean by here for you is that I'm going to be Jeoffrey all the time. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to take care of me, that I'm going to be here for you. Because if you forget at any given point and that you're someplace that you might have forgotten, guess what? I'm going to be able to come where you are and be here, happy for you. I will not be where you will, if you're feeling less than, whatever the case might be. If you're forgetting who you are, I'm going to be here for you so that I can come to you, and then both of us can decide to move out if you'd like, because that's what's most important, that I have my energy here, that I am a representation of the joy that I wish to be, and that I can come with you in your moment of forgetfulness and remind you of who you are. I'm not going to come and empathize with you and be depressed with you too, because then now we got two sad asses, and then what we're going to do from there, because we have two sad asses right there. I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to empathize with you. I'm going to be compassionate for you and be that for you.
Yes.
If you want to be happy, you know where I am. Okay. And it's that inner drive right there.
Yes. I love that you brought that point up. It's another way to look at how can someone be there for someone else. Be all of you first. There's a difference between caring for someone and feeling for someone.
Yep.
There's a difference between caring for someone and feeling for someone. Because I know I used to say, and I've heard others say, oh, I feel for you. Oh, I feel for you. I feel for you. And it just sort of like you were just saying, kind of drops that other person down to, this person's not feeling so great. And now this person's just sort of dropped down there too. We can stay where we are and care for someone. And actually that has the potential to lift this person up, as opposed to us coming down to their level. And I'm going to say too, because here's something that has gone through my head as a coach, something I've had to resolve. And okay, well, how does that fit with this? Because as a coach, we're also supposed to meet the client where they are. And so that also requires me, okay, well then how can I stand in my power and yet meet the person where they are to lift them up? So I'm just sharing that. I'll probably edit that part out.
No. That's perfect, because see, again, that is using I'm going to be here for you to the utmost level, because meet them where they are. And so now who's ever strongest in their wherever they are is going to dominate that experience.
Yeah.
Because if that person is so locked into their limitations, and that there's something else more for you, but you're meeting them where they are and that they're just not changing, and suddenly, boom, you're at their level of their belief of their limitation. And it's one thing to know that, look, I'm creating my own life, you're creating your life. I am not responsible in any way for how you're creating your life, because again, I've made the rules very simple. You are the most powerful thing in this universe, and you're going to do everything to prove me right, even if you fight me. Because if I say that your life is going to boil down to 4 words, if you say so, can't beat it. I can't beat it. No matter what I say is going to offer any difference if you believe something so strongly. And nothing's going to waver you on that. My point is proven. If you say so, but you get to control how you say, you get to control how you think. And just from there, you can be I'm going to be in my spot here. You're going to be in your spot here. And oh my God, we are all the way up here, and look at what's happening now. Because damn, Kim, what if I did not take care of myself today? What if I was not ready for you for this phone? And do you have any? It would be the total opposite if I didn't take care of myself. So I had to be here for you for this in this moment to have this fun that we wanted to have.
And if you didn't take care of yourself, there's a good chance that we would not have even been a match. And I would not have even, I don't know, on some level, maybe we would have never connected. Maybe you would have never seen, because I had posted a message on Facebook, who of my friends might be interested in doing, an interview like this. And you may not have seen it, or I may not have even thought of you, because I thought of you for the radio show too. Right. And so that's the importance, you taking care of you and me taking care of me. Right. And also listening to my guidance allowed us to link up, and there is a match. I feel such I'm not flirting, Jeoffrey, but
I will. That's okay. Yeah. I know. I will. I know. I will though. Well, but because I get it. No, you don't understand. Because I get it. And what you just said there was echoing a life experience that I had personally when I was younger, when I didn't have as many words or references as I do now. And it's very simplistically this: I'm going to take care of me for you. You take care of you for me. And so that when we come together, there's no baggage. We're both fine. And then we can both grow from the wonderful places that we already see and love each other from, rather than thinking, you're making up for my weaknesses. Because no. Yeah.
It's not 2 halves make a whole. It's 2 holes make a awesomeness.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I am not looking for my better half, because damn it, I'm not a half of a person.
There you go.
I'm wholly me, you're wholly you, and we can come together and make 3. That's just, then, you're feeling that energetic move there. But yes, that's exactly it. This is that new conversation. This is that new place. This is shattering the old belief systems of, because, and I love to have these dangerous thoughts too, because, since religions are something that's just, again, something that was created. Here's just a thought and idea for me that I've had this, and this is really fun and dangerous too, because, when we look at Abraham, when we look at,
Abraham Hicks, for anyone who's questioning.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks, anyone that channels, higher consciousness, they tune into and let higher consciousness flow through them. And again, every human being on this planet can do what we see these other people do. Every one of us can do this. So with that being said, let's just have fun with the story that we were told back in the day about this Jesus concept. Okay, so Jesus had 13 disciples, 13 men, and then there were 13 women. Okay, so that's like 26 people. And that's just like a kind of people walking around with a group consciousness. And this guy was just particularly talking and speaking for the group. Maybe his name wasn't Jesus. Maybe it was just us. Because we're all in this together, maybe it's just us. See, these are the thoughts that get me kicked out of churches all the damn time if I would spend time in there, because when they come at me with their stuff, I'm just sitting there thinking with my Jeoffrey mind and going through these types of concepts going, no, maybe it was just us.
Okay, I have to add on to that. So here's the thing. So I love having these conversations, and it's not new information for me. It's not new information for you, not new thought processes, any of that. But for anyone watching this who is thinking like, okay, it sounds good, but I still don't know what the heck they're talking about, and still in that place of confusion and not getting it. And here's what I want to say. If you're in that space, ask more questions, because everything Jeoffrey and I have this funny pen, by the way.
That's good. I like it.
Everything that we are talking about right now goes so much deeper. I mean, here's the thing. It's simple and yet really deep. There's so much. So ask more questions, because that's the thing. Every time I share this information. I do these videos and however way I can help, share the message. I do it in the way that feels best for me, but I also know that I'm not here to necessarily force anybody to be or think or do anything that they don't want to. So, we're all on our own journey. There was a time in my life where I was not in this place. I get it. But if there's something that's intriguing someone about what we are talking about, ask more questions. Ask Jeoffrey, ask me, research more information online. There is so much more. And every time I put information out there, I want to give like a whole novel. And I realize, okay, no, I can't do that, right? I just have to keep it short. No one wants to read a whole novel, on online on a Facebook post or whatever. So
right.
Sometimes though, but
sometimes. But
ask more questions, and I just want to emphasize that. Ask more questions, because there is so much more than what we're saying. We're saying like the end result and some of how you can get there, but there's still so much more. There's more than guided meditation. There's more than asking questions. There's processes and exercises. And I mean, you can really like, hello, Jesus, just us. Oh, right?
Yeah. Really?
There's so much more. And so, yeah. So with coaching or just conversations, infinite possibilities, anyway, okay, I've already said that. There's so much more. So I just had to emphasize that. Continue to dig, and whether you hire a coach of your own or not, continue to ask the questions.
Yes, because and just to recap some of the things that we've talked about here for as far as my method of operation. Okay, these are my rules. I make them up. Okay, I free associated with all of this stuff, and I've experienced so many wonderful things. And I ask better quality questions to get better quality answers. Okay, I don't have to prove someone else wrong for me to be right. If I hear something, I can ask myself the question of, how do I know this to be true? Which opens me up to finding and receiving more inspired answers and awareness. My beliefs I will change in a heartbeat. My knowings, I don't, because my knowings are my direct experience. My knowings are stronger than my belief. Okay, and to continue to be in this space of knowing that you can tune into your inner sense, your innocence of a child, your inner sense.
I love the way you do these play on it.
That
Nice.
Yes, to be self-referral there. This is what I'm talking about. And again, you need no spiritual reference for this in any way, shape, or form. You just don't. It's just picking how you choose to feel, because life is two things: something to feel good about or something to feel bad about. But you always get to decide.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So with that said, woo, I'm feeling pumped, just like I did after we did the other interview. So, what's the best way for people to contact you if they would like to learn more about you, find out how you can support them?
Absolutely. You can find out more about me by going to my website, Jeoffree.com. That is JEOFFREE.com. And if you'd like to email me, it is info@Jeoffree.com. Same spelling, info@JEOFFREE.com.
Awesome. So Jeoffrey, what's next for you?
Oh, what's next right now? I'm working with a really fun individual who's helping me get more of my message out there. So that's going to be really fun and fantastic. I've got a class coming up with a friend. She's teaching a sound healing year-long class that I'm going to be doing a didgeridoo segment on with people and showing them how sound can help heal their life too. Plus, she's asked me to do a mini segment on my hot chocolate happiness class too.
Nice.
Yes, so that's fun too. And I'm also in the development of having, more online classes too for people to, on the subjects that we talked about here, of having these quick little hot shots of where we can, hey, that's a marketing brand right there. These quick little hot shots of how you can change your life and have more fun doing it. So I'm in the developmental process of doing that as well. On top of everything else that we've been discussing here, and to really, at the end of the day, at some point in your life experience, you might just take this to heart and have comfort and have some joy with this. No matter what goes on, there just comes to a point of where you just want to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
And Kim, that's in essence what I'm doing. I'm just enjoying my life, and here are all of the things that are coming up that I enjoy. There is an Infinite Possibilities play shop coming up in Santa Fe. I'm also going to be in your neck of the woods in June, so we'll have to touch base to see if we can get together. I'm going to be doing I want to go to a Mantak Chia. He's a healer. He's doing like a 5-day workshop on some things that I enjoy that'll just add to me, but I'm doing it for fun. Okay, I really want you to understand that I'm doing all of this spiritual stuff, if you will. All of this stuff is just for fun. It's just a concept that I'm having fun with, because I'm telling you, when I said that spirit wants to communicate to you through everything that you're interested in, guess what? I can take you through a whole spiritual workshop using The Muppet Show, Transformers, any cartoon that I've been watching. I can do it because I see the messages that are in there.
Jeoffrey, so obviously, I just want to sum it up. Jeoffrey walks his talk.
Yeah, I do. And so, yeah, that's the next step for me, because again, I'm living life one giggle to the next.
I love that.
That's
okay. If anyone would like to find out more about your coaching, I know you already said how they can contact you, but is there any additional information you would like to share with what coaching with Jeoffrey is like? What are your packages like, or how do you operate? How do you do that?
Well, to know that if I'm the right person for you, is you need to really understand that, I'm not somebody that you find on your path to I'm not as good as I used to be. You find somebody like me on your path to I'm getting better. And if you keep that simple mentality that I'm getting better, and please understand too, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yes.
Just to quantify, when you're going to be playing with me, there is nothing wrong with you. The only thing that you've probably been doing in error is thinking that you need to be something that you're not. And again, because of Jeoffrey making up his rules and knowing that I don't have to answer to any outside deity, then there's a way of operating and thinking that, my natural state is to be the beautiful person that I choose to be. And that's what it's like to play with me. So if you want to go through my coaching and things like that, yes, I'll take you through some guided meditations. You're going to have so much fun playing with me. Because when we get into that state and when you really realize that you are perfect as you are, then you will enjoy your steps in your perfection. Perfection is not some place you're going to reach. No, you're perfect right here, right now, and you will enjoy the walk in this perfection because, like me, I've tripped, I've stumbled, I've fallen, I've gotten back up, and I will have it no other way. I will continue to trip, fall, run, stumble, living my dream than to walk perfectly in someone else's.
Ooh.
This is where we are going to play. This is where we are going to dance, and baby, it's going to be exciting.
Awesome. Okay, well, this was just a very passionate conversation with Jeoffrey. I loved it. I love speaking with you, Jeoffrey. And
as I with you.
Thank you for being here. And anyway, we will be in contact. And for all those watching, thank you for being here. Feel free to leave a comment. Let us know how this conversation has impacted you. What has it brought up for you? Where is it taking you? What questions do you think you could start asking in your life? There's so much out there, and it's just a matter of saying yes and choosing to step into it and see what happens. Be open to it. So I wish the best for everyone. I know that good things are coming for all of us, and I'm just so grateful for all of this. So with that said, have a wonderful day, and until next time.
Bye-bye.
Just take a second.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Keep that in.
I'm trying to be zen. It's not. Okay, so